You know, I thought I'd have to wait until Season 2 of Invincible or Space Jam 3 before making another video like this. Oh man, I've never been this wrong my whole life! So it's been roughly a month and a half since Disney's latest live-action butchering of a beloved animated classic. A movie that I'm pretty sure most of you forgot about until I just brought it up. It was just one of the latest in a string of L's Disney has been taking lately alongside their horrible publicity for Elementals and that disastrous attempt to defend their terrible Primos preview.
So be mad at me all you want for misspelling words in Spanish. Be mad at me all you want for mispronouncing words in Spanish. That doesn't take away from the fact that I am a Mexican-American, Native American woman. We're trying to make a good show for kids that feel left out, for kids that are different, for kids who don't have a full grasp on any language, no matter where they live. And if you're gonna be mad at that, I don't know. Be mad then.
You are a bitch!
So since I finished my latest review on The Last of Us to commemorate its 10th anniversary, I figured I would treat myself by making fun of a certain brand of stupidity. The kind of stupidity that comes every once in a while, when a YouTuber dares to speak ill of a badly made movie that happens to have a black person in the lead role. I don't have anything against Halle Bailey, I'm sure she's a nice person when she's not being paid to promote shitty movies. But ever since I put out my review of The Little Mermaid 2023, I've been getting quite a lot of comments of people accusing me of racism, or just desperately grasping at straws to lie to themselves about how this movie was any good. Not that there wasn't a bunch of that garbage before the movie came out, but there's just something special about seeing a person intentionally seeking out YouTube reviews bashing a movie they know they're not going to like, because they just want to lash out at reviewers and openly express their insecurities about the latest corporate garbage being rightfully called out for being bad, in order to feel some sense of accomplishment in their worthless lives. Like, you can tell they didn't even watch the video and just had some knee-jerk reaction to the title or thumbnail because, hey, they do it for Star Wars, so why not do it for this movie too? Let's get this wagon moving, shall we? Halle carried it. I don't care. Halle didn't carry anything. Her acting was rubbish and half the movie she doesn't even sing because she was mute for the plot. Her being a good singer does nothing to elevate the movie. That's like saying Tom Holland carried the Uncharted movie because he's a good actor. If all you're gonna do is praise Halle Bailey's singing abilities, just watch some of her performances on YouTube. It's less time consuming and costs less money than going to see a shitty live action remake. Stop hating this movie, just let us black people have a chance to shine. No, doofus, I will not stop hating on this movie because it's a bad movie. And what do you mean, give us black people a chance to shine? You think The Little Mermaid 2023 is the only movie out there with a black lead in it? If you really think that, you need to watch more movies or at least get out from under that rock you're living in. What, am I supposed to be nice to Mulan 2020 and give Asian people a chance to shine? You're saying it like she's the first ever black lead in a movie, like it's a groundbreaking accomplishment. Black people have been shining in films and lead roles for decades. Get off your high horse and grow some brain cells, you stooge. Like, do black people like being represented in bad cash grab movies or something? The movie is not bad. Stop the hate train. Oh boy, it's one of those comments, the hate train rebuttal. Does everything have to be labeled as a hate train when people are oversensitive to a bad movie getting picked apart by critics? If you seriously have to defend something by saying the negative reception for it is a hate train, you're just acknowledging there's a problem and you don't like people pointing it out. Even if it is a hate train and people are just using it to be part of a current trend, that doesn't mean we're wrong about the movie being terrible. I mean, can you provide an argument for how it's not bad beyond that stupid buzz phrase? I gave plenty of reasons for why this movie was bad and you failed to provide a single reason for why it's good. Yeah, from his white racist perspective. Racist, huh? Well, let me ask you something. What did I say in the video specifically that could be considered racist? Like, could you be so kind as to point it out, good sir? I'd be more than happy to edit and re-upload the video if you can find it. The actual money it's making tells a different story. You mean how it barely managed to break even? By that logic, Michael Bay's Transformers movies are amongst the greatest films in cinematic history because they made a lot of money off of stupid people too. The millions of people on social media literally praising the movie say otherwise. You mean retards like this Twitter user? The only bitches complaining are white racists and Disney adults that need to fucking grow up. No, it's not. You think white people are the only people who criticize bad movies? Black people are doing it too, you bloody numbskull. I have looked through many reviews of this movie and I have yet to see a single person doing anything racist in the process of criticizing it. I also love how he's saying that Disney adults are part of the movie's negative reception when the movie was made specifically to pander to people who grew up with the original, aka adults. Were you not expecting adults to watch this movie? If anyone needs to grow up here, it's you for being so pathetic as to simp for a bad movie in such a desperate manner. If you are going to criticize the film, please don't personally attack the people involved, just criticize the product itself. I will badmouth the idiots who wasted money on this garbage as much as I please. If they didn't want to get shit on for their movie, they wouldn't have made something disrespectful to the source material. They also wouldn't be twisting the words of a dead man in order to push a politically correct agenda by changing the lyrics to classic songs for bullshit reasons. If someone made a movie sexualizing children, are you only gonna criticize the movie? Or are you gonna criticize the person who made it? Just food for thought, you wuss. No need to attack others for having opinions. Just as are able to make videos stating your opinion that the new Little Mermaid movie is trash, other people can have opinions about the original that you can disagree with. No, the movie is horrible no matter what you say to defend it. That's not an opinion, that's a neutral statement of fact. The acting is flatter than a sheet of paper, the visuals are dull and worn out, the musical numbers are less energized and lacking good vocal performances, the changes they made to the story don't make a lick of sense, and the pacing is dragged out due to the stupid subplots they added just to justify its longer runtime. This is just another one of those morons who goes around saying, "There's no such thing as a bad movie, you either like it or you don't," when defending bad movies. None of the film's qualities are positive or strong enough to redeem or justify its existence, so what are you trying to accomplish with this comment? Just say you don't have an argument and save us the headache. Alright, so just a heads up, this one is gonna be a little different because it's not really a comment, it's more of a reply to someone else's comment. How is hiring a black actress racist? I don't know, dude. Tokenizing black people and using them as a morality shield sounds pretty damn racist to me. Look, I'm not gonna beat around the bush when it comes to this nonsense. Disney has race-washed like a dozen of their original characters for their live-action remakes by this point, and almost all of them have been from white to black.
Coincidence? I think not!
There is only so many times you can do this specific thing before it grows suspicious. Out of all the people auditioning for these roles, they pick people that look absolutely nothing like the characters they're supposed to portray, claiming them to be the best person for the job, and then their acting skills turn out to be shit. Oh yes, it's impossible that they would have hired her because she actually fit the role and did well in her audition. What a novel concept that is. If Halle Bailey was really the best person they could find during the auditions, then everyone else better have had the acting prowess of Doug Walker, because there is no chance in the world she demonstrated the best acting credentials when being asked to represent Ariel from The Little Mermaid. If not for her skin color, then Disney casted her for her celebrity status, which is still horrible as they didn't care about the quality of the acting or how it would affect the film overall. I'm sorry that you can't wrap your head around the idea that Disney only did what they think would give them good publicity as opposed to actually finding the right person for the role, but maybe look up some kind of acting class and you'll understand how Halle Bailey was the poor man's version of Jodie Benson. She was hired for talent, not skin color. If Halle had an ounce of acting talent, then she was done dirty by the director and the casting people. Don't you think it's unfair to her that she was put in the hot seat when they knew that the choices they made for this horrible remake were going to draw negative attention to her and affect her acting career going forward? They were banking on her skin color, acting like it was a revolutionary push for black people in movies when there were dozens of other options they could have gone with that involved good acting. Yet she still ate the roll up and had people running in to watch it again. What a surprise. No she did not. And what exactly do you mean by running in to watch it again? Who would actually be fucking stupid enough to pay money to watch this movie for a second time? That's your opinion, and I'm not going to argue with you about it. I believe she did amazing. If you feel a different way, that's you. Maybe you should look up good acting sometime. Halle Bailey just isn't that good, and being defensive of her inability to act is just bogus. That Scuttlebutt song kinda catchy though. Trust me, it was unexpected, lol. It kinda hits with me. That song was about as pleasant as John Wick shoving a pencil in your eardrums. You're either deaf or fucking stupid to think that was a song of quality. Awkwafina can't act to save her skin, and the fact the filmmakers made her sing on top of that is ludicrous. If you watch the scene, it fits. Stop the hate train.
Oh no, not this clown again.
No, having context from the scene doesn't make the song any better. If anything, it makes it worse. Scuttle didn't need to sing a shitty-ass song in the original movie to explain how Vanessa was Ursula in disguise. He just gives them the information. What was the point of this song? It doesn't add anything to the story, it stays completely the same. You could cut out this song and you would lose nothing. Save us the pain being dealt to our eardrums for God's sake. I don't know what your deal is with Hate Trains, buddy, but it sounds like you need to catch a different ride because this one is clearly not for you.
Nah, it was a masterpiece.
Okay, are you going to elaborate further or are you just gonna show us how you got triggered by the title?
People are so easily triggered. I love it.
Says the idiot who can't handle people criticizing his sacred cow. If all you're gonna say to rebuttal a 15-minute video explaining how The Little Mermaid 2023 is a bad movie is to leave a mentally vacant comment saying, nah, it's a masterpiece, do us all a favor and don't even bother because it's just gonna make you look stupid.
If you don't like it, don't watch it. Stop crying, snowflake.
I'm sensing some projection in this reply. He's calling us snowflakes for explaining how the movie is bad when he's the one telling us to not watch something in order to stop people from criticizing a piece of media. Just say you're an oversensitive moron who doesn't want people having discussions about how the movie was bad and doesn't want negative reception being drawn to something you like regardless of its quality. Just tell everyone you're a brain-dead consumer and be honest with yourself.
Dude, have your own opinions, but don't put down the enormous number of people who are enjoying it, especially when a large group of the people you labeled as fucking stupid and shit-eating brain-dead retards are little kids.
I mean, what else would you call people who simp for a horrible movie incessantly on Twitter? I'm pretty sure that a lot of the people who went to watch this movie are adults. Most little kids would probably not even be familiar with the original since it's a 34-year-old movie unless their families are goddamn Disney cultists. And if you really want to push the whole "the movie is for kids" argument, let me show you something.
Ariel's white, not brown.
That was a kid pointing out Disney's blatant pandering to black people with their race washing of Ariel. A little kid is able to recognize the issue over the millions of adults who are mindlessly eating this up. If a little kid can recognize the problem here, you really have no excuse for falling for this except you're just stupid.
I don't know if you know who Halle Bailey is or not, but she's not going nowhere 2 times soon. She's Halle Bailey. Her sister is famous. She literally an artist under Beyonce. Beyonce has coached her and her sister and she's in numerous movies and has many hit songs. And mind you, she's literally Ariel, one of the most popular Disney princesses. Yeah, she's not going anywhere no time soon, and really her career is just getting started. But you have fun being broke dreaming you'll be as rich and successful as her.
Yeah, because that's what everyone in America should aspire to be. A privileged Hollywood snob who doesn't actually do anything to help people with less money than themselves. Look, I get you have a huge crush on Halle Bailey, but that doesn't change anything about how lowbrow and forgettable her performance was. Does it really matter if she's affiliated with Beyonce or her sister, whatever she's supposed to be? Hopefully she'll be casted in less shitty movies in the future or at least sticks to singing because that's where her strengths lie, but stop trying to convince people how she was a good actor in this movie. It won't change the actual quality of her acting no matter how hard you try. Now, this one's gonna be a bit different as I'm not only gonna respond to this guy's comments, but also show the preceding discussion in the replies. Trust me, when you see the discussion in the replies, it'll speak for itself.
Are you against Black Ariel?
Honestly, at this point, yes I am. Because not only is it as racist as whitewashing an Asian character, but it results in morons like you tokenizing black people and using them as a morality shield to defend bad movies.
Who are you say to me shit? Did you achieve anything in your unhappy life? Are you director any company? So who are you? Do you wanna say something against the king? That is I. Don't make me angry. Do you know I am the beast when I get angry? Purchase me a PlayStation 5 and I won't be the beast. PlayStation 5 costs a cheap for you. You can buy it. Oh, I have already becoming the beast. Hurry up. I am becoming the beast. Do you hear me, dude? It's almost done. I've already almost the beast.
Look, it's the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, I don't know what this guy is on, but it's definitely a high dosage of something. I really hope he doesn't come back later just to leave more disturbing comments.
It wasn't bad, you're just mad at the cast for obvious reasons.
Yeah, I didn't like how their acting and voice acting was crappy compared to the original. I also didn't like how they casted people incapable of singing to do the singing parts.
It's the largest and most widespread complaint. You all would not be as upset if she were white. We all know it.
What, so you just speak for black people now? Please, Witch, enlighten us with your all-knowing insight on how The Little Mermaid 2023 is a movie of quality. Please explain to us how it was good. What? She didn't leave any comments after that? She just went into the comments to accuse people of racism? Well, blow me down. It's almost as if the people accusing us of racism for criticizing this movie are incapable of forming an actual argument worth listening to. Isn't it so strange that this is like the 20th time it's happened over the course of the video? It's almost like a disease or something.
Dude, you are just complaining because you went into watching this movie wanting to hate it.
I mean, yeah, you can argue I had no hope for the movie being good when I decided to review it, which I was right considering how bad it ended up being, but can you at least take the time to explain how my complaints are wrong? Like, was there anything about my criticisms towards the movie that were incorrect to your tiny little brain?
You made the smallest things negative, lol. Everyone did great in this movie, including Halle Bailey. Her acting like the cartoon being crazy expressive would have been weird. You are full of crap.
I'd rather have a crazy expressive performance than whatever the heck Halle gave us in this film. And funny how she only refers to the acting quality but doesn't address any of the other flaws I pointed out. Are you just another one of those weirdos on Twitter with an unhealthy obsession with Halle Bailey? Because that would probably explain it. Oh, and remember that guy from earlier who I said I hoped he wouldn't come back to do anything more disturbing? Yeah, you knew he was coming back. And what you're about to see is so messed up, I've decided to just use a different voice entirely. Sure, when I was a child, I was in love with white Ariel. What I see now, black Ariel and my ruined dream. Yeah, white Ariel was my love, that's true. I wanted to make children with her. What now? My ruined dream with black Ariel? Disney, fuck you up. Disney ruined my dream.
What the fuck was that?
Yeah, if you want to see the peak of deranged fuckheads in a YouTube comment section, look no further than people like this guy, who fantasize about banging cartoon characters when they're white and acting like they ruined your porno dreams because they're no longer white. Do I need to remind you people that she was under 18 in the original film, and now you're having an autistic meltdown over not being able to have sex with her because they made her black? What mental ward did you escape from? People have said that I'm a crazy person for my criticisms of badly made Hollywood products because they're just pussies that way, but this is the kind of deranged lunacy you see in a Chris Chan documentary. What is going on in this guy's brain that he just had a sudden aneurysm over his dreams of banging a white Ariel being ruined by The Little Mermaid 2023? Actually, I don't even want to know. Let's just move on to the next one, please.
Stop hate watching.
Hate watching isn't real, that's just something you idiots made up to discourage people from criticizing badly made corporate products. There's actually a video by Just a Robot explaining why. It's actually pretty good. Check it out when you have time, I'll leave a link in the description.
Y'all just like to complain in every bit. Like, y'all, let's not forget that Avatar made 10 years to complete. If The Little Mermaid came out before Avatar or also made that much years in production, it would have ate up every underwater movies ever made.
This is an argument I previously addressed in my Space Jam 2 video, so I guess I have to go over it again. It doesn't matter how much longer Avatar The Way of Water's production was compared to The Little Mermaid 2023, it doesn't excuse the terrible visual quality or terrible recreation of the source material in this film. If it ends up being bad, it's going to be held under scrutiny.
Yeah, that's because Avatar isn't a kids movie while The Little Mermaid is a kids movie.
Oh no, another one of those it's for kids motherfuckers. Hey, you wanna know what else was a kids movie? The original Little Mermaid. And that movie had underwater visuals that were charming and appealing to the eye while also having a cast of engaging characters and fun story. What's this movie's excuse? Do you really think kids don't deserve good content and should only be fed whatever corporate sludge Disney churns out every year? Fuck you. You have no respect for the medium of filmmaking. Get out of here with your garbage.
If you're a white male, specifically a straight white male, then your opinions about this movie are already irrelevant. This movie ain't for you. Disney didn't come up with the idea of this movie with your demographic in mind. Grow up and grow a pair.
Oh ho ho, well fuck this piece of gutter trash specifically. Not only is this one in particular racist, but also sexist. You think we have to be a specific skin color or a specific sexual orientation in order for our opinions on this movie to matter? What, you think you speak for black people too? You think you speak for the people who are being oppressed in your land of make-believe by us not liking some piece of shit movie? You think showering The Little Mermaid 2023 in praise will end racism? How about you grow up and you grow a pair and accept the fact that people can dislike a movie for reasons other than the actor's skin color, you filthy shit stain?
Nah, it's not.
Explain.
No.
Like I said before, if all you're gonna say in response to this video is some 3-word comment saying, nah, it's not, you don't deserve to be treated as if your opinion matters. And your refusal to explain yourself on top of that just further proves my point.
What does religion have to do with a Disney movie? And also, I really only see people that are racist and or sexist calling things that include diversity racist and sexist. Harley played the part perfectly. She was such a perfect Ariel, and this is the only Disney princess in live action that we have had that can actually sing other than Naomi Scott. So yeah, I don't see what about this movie you would consider racist other than the fact that she got cast as Ariel, so yeah.
She played the part as perfectly as a sheet of foam paper. As I said before, it's definitely hella racist to tokenize African Americans and use them to boast about a movie's quality while shielding it from criticism. You really think Disney cares about black representation and not being racist when they did this for the Chinese poster of The Force Awakens? Gotta get those big Asian bucks somehow, am I right?
The Little Mermaid 2023 is an amazing film and they worked so hard to do it. It took them 4.5 years to do, so stop hating it because every single cast member did an amazing job. Especially Halle Bailey. She did amazing and so did everyone else, and Scuttlebutt the song was amazing. And Awkwafina sang it, so stop hating on the movie because have you seen it? That's a question, so stop hating on the movies. You don't get to make other people feel bad about their films when you feel bad about yourself, so stop hating on other movies, especially the live action ones. Cause they worked so hard, so stop hating on this movie. They did a great job on it, to stop because nobody wants to hear it. You're the worst. You know who you need? God.
I'm gonna be honest, I kind of like this one, but only because I found it so funny when I first read it. No, really, this one was so pathetic that it made me laugh. Honestly, there's a part of me that wants to cut this retard some slack for giving me something to laugh at, but I feel like that would be unfair to the rest of the comments, so I guess we gotta do a deep dive into this stupidity. First, every movie takes years to make. That's not the flex you think it is. Second, if you think they worked so hard to make this movie, you'd think they would have worked just as hard to stay more faithful to the source material, instead of just doing a lazy rehash. The animated version was way harder to make because they had to create everything from the ground up. All the remake had to do was copy-paste the original's plot with shitty CGI and bland live-action acting. Third, the cast was not good at doing their jobs. It could be that they were just given a bad director to work with, but none of the performances were solid. Fourth, no, fuck you. The Awkwafina song was horrendously awful. It was not amazing by any stretch of the imagination. Awkwafina cannot sing, and trying to pass her off as a rapper on top of that is a cardinal sin. Fifth, what do you mean you don't get to make other people feel bad about their films when you feel bad about yourself? Criticizing this movie makes me feel pretty good because it's always cathartic to stick it to these god-awful live-action remakes. If the movie ends up being bad, it's going to be criticized. The people who worked so hard on it can cry a river if they don't like it. Sixth, you think God is gonna care if I put energy into criticizing a bad movie? I'm pretty sure there's more pressing matters than some jerk with a YouTube account trashing bad movies. If anything, you need God at least to help you out with your horrible grammar. And one more thing. Get your ears checked, because you do not represent the human race in any capacity if you think the Scuttlebutt is a song of quality, you freak.
You never change, Miss Anthro, you never change. Thumbs down, bad review.
First off, the name is Zaid Magenta. Second, how is this review bad? By hurting your feelings? You don't say anything else to elaborate how it was bad, so I really can't come to any other conclusion except you're an oversensitive pussy whose feelings were hurt by criticism of a bad movie.
Did I hurt your feelings?
Honestly, a lot of the criticisms you're making is valid and interesting. However, you sound so bitter and angry all the damn that it's hard to watch the video till the end. I don't know if the voice was AI generated or if it's actually yours, but if it is yours, I'd like to know how the hell you are able to keep the exact same pissed off tone for 16 whole minutes. Either way, that voice is super annoying. Not to mention the I hate you part, which is just inappropriate. You don't say things like that on the internet. Trust me, this whole negative energy doesn't do anything except prevent you from getting your point across. It's kinda sad.
Whoa, stand back everyone. We got a tone policer over here. Listen, buddy, I don't know how long you've been around, but if you don't like it, tough. Every piece of media has the right to be criticized positively or negatively, calmly or angrily, softly or loudly, and you are to sit on your hands and deal with it. I don't even know why you felt the need to be so reactionary and tone police this particular review of mine. Believe me, this is far from the angriest I've ever been on this channel. Also, who wouldn't hate Bob Iger at this point? This guy sent thank you notes to Chinese concentration camps and butchered a timeless classic because he just wanted to desperately cash in on people's nostalgia. Are people not allowed to express their frustration with Disney's horrible live-action remakes? We're sick of them. We've had enough of them. And the fact they're remaking Moana when it's not even 10 years old yet is just proof of how badly they're trying to shove these fucking things down our throats.
I don't think the scuttlebutt is nearly as terrible as people say it is. Yes, it sounds kinda weird in some parts, I'll give it to you. But the wap chicka wap wap part is actually pretty funny. It's not Ariel singing, it's Scuttle. It's not meant to sound particularly good. It's meant to be a fun moment and to make you laugh, and it does that pretty well.
Well, here's the thing about that. In order for something to be funny, it has to make you laugh. Nothing about the scuttlebutt makes me laugh. All it does is make me wonder how the hell Disney thought it was okay to greenlight this song.
Do you know the definition of sexist and racist? And what do you mean by you hope Disney would return to the way it was? Do you mean when it was only white characters in the movies and shows? Is that what you want? You want less representation for black people?
Oh wow, not even trying to be subtle about this one, are ya? Oh no, what will become of black representation if Disney goes back to the way it was? Seriously, what do you think he was inferring? He was clearly talking about Disney going back to making good movies and more creative original content. How is that racist or in any way a threat to black representation? Are you just a racist yourself? Because the way in which you say only white characters in such a concerned tone is a huge red flag if I've ever seen one. You do realize that the vast majority of Disney's most famous characters are animals, right? As in, not humans made distinct by skin color? And if you want to go by the human characters, Strange World is one of their most recent animated movies, and get this, it has black characters in it. So your precious black representation is not in the kind of danger you think it is. Go fuck yourself, you actually racist pig.
I loved it.
Okay, good for you, moron with horrible taste in movies.
Zaid, you sick pound sign, pound sign, pound sign, pound sign.
Well, I did have a sore throat around the time I posted the video, but I'm feeling much better now, so thank you for your concern.
I loved the Little Mermaid remake.
Why?
Because it's way better than the animated one. The music is much cooler, the characters are more beautiful, and the plot is more unique.
Now this one takes the cake in retardation. Allow me to ask you some questions. How is the plot more unique if it's the exact same thing with the exception of just giving Eric Melody's backstory? How are the characters more beautiful if half of them are ugly CGI? Are you just attracted to the live-action actors? And how exactly is the music cooler if they watered down the instrumentals and casted people who can sing to do the singing? This guy is just so full of bullshit, so let's move on to the next one. The music is awful. I don't care if the actors are beautiful or not, I don't watch movies because of the actors. The plot is a poor copy and paste of the original, but Ariel is changed into a girl boss Mary Sue and Eric is nothing more than a male damsel in distress.
Cry.
Ooh, I'm sensing more projection. How about you cry some more because you can't handle people pointing out how this is a bad movie?
Take that back!
No, I will not. Please understand, Sideways Pikachu, that I will not retract any of my statements on how The Little Mermaid 2023 is a miserable attempt by Disney to cash in on people's nostalgia. Please accept this and have a nice day.
I don't even know what you are talking about. You probably went to see something else, not the live-action Little Mermaid.
What are you, stupid? Of course I saw the live-action Little Mermaid. How else would I be able to review it? Did you even see the video to see I was using footage from the movie itself? Or are you just blind?
'Cause I went with my kids to see it and it was great. The kids loved it and want to go to see it again. I'll take them again tomorrow. The audience isn't grown-ass men and women, it's for children.
Alright, I'm gonna go on a tangent here. That whole "it's made for a new generation" argument is complete bullshit. It's a stupid excuse people use to hand-wave away criticism. It doesn't matter what generation this movie was made in. If it's a sequel, a remake, or an adaptation of a book, it'll be held under scrutiny if it fails to stay faithful to the source material. This is the same shit Star Wars sequel trilogy fans use to deflect criticism by saying stupid shit like the passing of the torch, because they don't actually care about the new generation. They just want to defend their childhood brand from criticism because they're pathetic losers.
They don't like the animated movie. I have both the VHS and DVD, but they don't like it. When I put it on, they don't sit still to watch it. With the 2023 version, they sat down to watch it and memorize almost all the songs. Yeah, give it up. It's time to pass the torch.
You see what I mean? Also, your argument is that because your kids like it, that makes the movie good. Hey lady, I was a dumb kid once and I liked some bad movies in my adolescent mindset too. Does that automatically make the movies good? No, it does not. You're the kind of person who would take their kids to see the Garbage Pail Kids movie because it's a kids movie and kids don't deserve good quality.
I used my kids because they're the intended audience, not a grown-ass man still butthurt that live-action movie isn't like the cartoon movie.
Yeah, let me translate this part of the comment for ya. Yeah, stop comparing the remake to the original. Why? Because that 34-year-old movie is actually good?
Not just my kids, but a lot of kids love the movie because they are the target audience, not you. If the kids love it, then it did its due diligence. Whatever you say about the movie is null and void in that aspect.
Stop using children liking something to shield a movie from criticism. There are kids who like Caillou. Does that mean we shouldn't criticize Caillou for being a bad influence on kids? You clearly don't understand how criticism works if you're here arguing over the film being immune to it over specific demographics.
No, because I can't get them to sit still to watch anything else in the theater that's not geared to their interest. They liked the Little Mermaid live-action movie, which is why they sat still.
Hey lady, you do realize that you took your kids to a movie theater, right? Of course they're expected to sit still and not move around because if they did that, they'll be asked to leave the theater. Mind you, children have terrible attention spans. If you're gonna try and sit them down to watch a movie at home, they're obviously not gonna do that. They're just gonna pull out their phones and play something on TikTok.
Good for you. Go see movies that are geared towards your self-interest and leave The Little Mermaid alone. It's not for you. You're too old. Leave it to the kids. The kids love it. Don't ruin it for them.
Pardon me, bitch. You and your kids do not dictate what movies can and cannot be criticized. People don't decide if something is good by asking kids. Kids love TikTok and it's a terrible website. Are you gonna keep us from criticizing TikTok because kids like it and you don't want it being ruined for them? Also, I got something to ask you. The live-action remake is over 2 hours long while the animated one is 78 minutes. So how are your kids not interested in the animated one but able to watch a movie that's nearly twice as long? Also, this next part might make me look like a dick, but I need to ask. Why would you even take your kids to watch this movie in the first place? It's just a genuine question. Why would any parent want to take their kids to watch this version of The Little Mermaid when it's mostly the exact same thing, but with worse visuals, worse characters, worse acting, worse music, worse comedy, and worse pacing as a result of the new plot points they threw in that ultimately did nothing to change the course of the story?
No kid in today's era wants to watch something from 1989. That's why the creators changed it up to fit their tastes. 'Cause it's a kids movie.
Don't try to pull that bullshit generation argument a second time. I was born in the 90s and I've seen a whole bunch of movies made in the 80s, 70s, 60s, and even 50s. Don't try to silence me because you're insecure about a shitty corporate product receiving criticism. And you know what? Fuck you. The fact that you would use the "it's for kids" argument shows that you have no respect for your kids. You just said the movie is for children, yet you also said that you love the movie as an adult, you fucking tool. This is the same crap people pulled when they tried defending Space Jam 2, and I'm certainly not having any of that garbage with this movie. How about you spend less time simping for a bad movie and spend more time being a parent to your kids, you dipshit?
The Ariel in the live-action movie is more passionate than the animated Ariel, even though the animated one was throwing herself at Eric. I like the changes. I like Eric having his own character too. Their relationship in this movie is more enjoyable and meaningful.
You are either blindly defending it or you're just some kind of Disney shill who will accept whatever they throw at you. Ariel is basically the same character in this movie, so how can you make an argument for her being more passionate? Unless you're trying to say Halle Bailey was a good actor, in which case she wasn't. As for Eric, all they did was make him into a clone of Ariel, which makes him less interesting. How does making him a clone of Ariel make their relationship more interesting? That is a question that no one has yet to provide an acceptable answer to. Eric was interesting the way he was. He had a really good expressive personality, especially compared to the princes of Snow White and Cinderella. So how was he made more interesting by removing his charm just to make him a clone of Ariel? Please provide a good answer or I will not take you seriously.
It wasn't trash. Stop with the racism.
Apparently, criticizing a bad movie equals racism now. At least according to this mentally vacant quack.
Have you even seen it? Because it really wasn't that bad.
Yes, it was. How else would I have reached that verdict unless I didn't see a large portion of the content? Do you just think everyone who criticizes a bad movie with a black actor in it is racist? By that logic, everyone who criticizes national security is racist. Better report them to the morality police.
What bunch haters?
Ah yes, we're all haters because we don't like a bad movie. Welcome to the internet, bozo.
It's just pathetic that people are taking time out of their lives and trying so hard to tear down the hard work of hundreds of people just because of the skin color of a fictional sea creature. You are trying to discourage people from contributing to this movie's success. But you know it won't work. What will be, will be.
How exactly is speaking the truth discouraging people? Do you really think casting black people in big blockbuster movies is going to end racism? Like I said earlier, if a movie ends up being bad, it will be torn apart. The people who worked on it can cry a river for all I care. This movie deserves to fail because it's a terrible adaptation of a beloved classic that actively disrespects the source material for the sake of corporate interest. Pardon me, good sir, but what exactly is the problem with speaking the truth about how this movie was bad and that it was made by a scumbucket corporation that only cares about money? One of the actors being black doesn't shield it from people who happen to not like the product for reasons unrelated to the actor's skin color. Stop getting emotionally triggered when someone points out the legitimate flaws in a movie.
Movie was excellent. A++++++. I love the rap song in the movie.
You're either a Disney cultist or a retard. The movie is far from A+ material, let alone that many pluses. Also, do I need to set up a program for people to have their ears checked? Is people liking that horrible Scuttlebutt song really some kind of pandemic that needs to be cleansed or something? Because at this point it's coming across as either trolling or an actual problem that needs solving.
You truly gotta be sick if you think Halle Bailey isn't a good actor.
Newsflash, being a good singer doesn't qualify you as a good actor. Are these people really so stupid that they can't distinguish the difference between a good singer and a good actor? Can we please get somebody to explain this to them in a way their pea-brains will understand?
I thought the movie was absolutely amazing. Whoever is watching it should watch it themselves. Guarantee you will love it.
I already saw it and evaluated all the reasons why it sucks, so I don't need your help to convince me how I'm wrong. If you really think this movie is amazing, you haven't seen nearly enough movies in your life.
My mom always tells me that Disney's just a company, and like any company, they need money to sustain and pay their employees. So somebody please tell me, why do many people really hate Disney with a burning passion?
My parents said the same thing for Activision and EA.
Well, the world is changing and we have accept all humans by their race, sex, and especially gender. That's why nowadays there's more representation and diversity in movies, TV shows, and other forms of media, so that we can achieve world peace and unity.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen. No matter how many times Disney race washes a character for their movies, it's not going to lead to world peace. And if you really need a reason for why people hate Disney right now, I got a whole laundry list for you to look at.
I'll be honest, I actually loved this movie. I love the OG Ariel, but I also like this version of Ariel too. Probably because she's not an exact copy-paste version of the cartoon.
She kinda is. I don't know how you came to that conclusion.
This version focused more on Ariel, acknowledging that her father had valid reasons to be alert and worried, and that he truly was just looking out for her. and how he was terrified of what happened to their mother could happen to one of his daughters.
Yeah, too bad the movie never takes advantage of that. They set up a plot point about how Ariel's mom was killed by humans, and yet that's never given more insight. And because they changed the ending to have Ariel kill Ursula instead of Eric because every female character has to be a girl boss now, it takes away from that arc because Triton is no longer given a reason to reevaluate his feelings towards humans.
She knew her father just loved his family and was a good person, and that this Ariel chose never to lie to him or her sisters.
You mean the exact same thing that happened in the original? I thought you said it wasn't an exact copy-paste version of the cartoon.
I talked a lot of smack about this movie before I even watched it. I walked in with the lowest expectations. I can admit when I'm wrong. Halle Bailey was a wonderful version of Ariel.
No, she was not.
There were a lot of changes in the movie and I didn't like all of them, but it seems your video is a little biased.
If you actually cared to pay attention, you would know that there was more to my criticisms than personal bias. Yes, I prefer the animated version, but that's because the animated version was a good movie. The live-action remake is crappy and boring, and it does a terrible job at representing the original source material.
Some people are just determined to dislike it.
Well, yeah. What else do you expect people to do when a Disney live-action remake is announced? Reward Disney for their laziness and creative bankruptcy? Why should I bend over backwards for this film just to satisfy your needs? How about you grow some brain cells and learn what good movies are?
I love it when grown-ass men bitch and complain about a family movie.
I also love when grown-ass men and women get overly defensive of shitty movies.
I'm glad this movie is getting the attention it deserves, good or bad. Vocally, I think everyone did an amazing job.
Again, no, they did not. I think I was really clear in explaining why in the video.
They added more depth to Eric and his relationship with Ariel. I love that the story is different. I love all the changes.
Does that include making Ariel into a girl boss just so they can flex about female empowerment?
I'm glad they added new songs like Ariel only had a solo. And I'm not mad at Aquafina's scuttle, she's loud and annoying like a real seagull. Her song wasn't the best, but who are people to judge? I thought the Encanto soundtrack was trash, but people ate that shit up.
Probably because the Encanto soundtrack wasn't going out of its way to assault people's eardrums. If you think the Encanto soundtrack was trash while thinking Scuttlebutt wasn't so bad, you can get fucked with an air horn to the ear canal.
I think you're being a big baby, sister. Peace and love.
I really love how they say I'm being a big baby for pointing out the reasons this movie is bad, but then end on peace and love. Like they were trying to be passive-aggressive with this comment.
Yes, I am a Disney cultist and retard. All hail Mickey. No, but for real, don't be such a hater. Just sit back and enjoy the movie. That's all I'm saying.
Remember folks, don't ask questions. Just consume product and get excited for next product.
Have y'all seen the live action The Little Mermaid's Island during the 90s? I'm just curious if that's what y'all want the movie to look like.
Honestly, I'd rather have the characters turn into Jim Henson Muppets as opposed to another creatively bankrupt remake.
Also, she's a classic character like Santa Claus, and the same way he's always reimagined, why can't Disney do the same for their own characters?
Because Disney is only doing it to pander to left-wing idiots instead of actually enhancing the movie.
I don't think the movie is the worst of the live-action remakes either, and can anyone compare the sales of The Princess and the Frog's box office from other Disney princesses, and how it did in other countries too?
That doesn't matter because it doesn't change the actual quality of the movie. The Princess and the Frog failing at the box office was a result of Disney's horrible marketing and timing it with the release of Avatar. It's not the fault of the film itself. But if you actually have to go, but this movie failed at the box office in order to boast about this one's status, that's just grasping at straws to tell yourself it's any good. Stop being stupid and learn what good movies are.
It wasn't that bad. Relax.
Thanks for the insight on how the movie was good, I guess?
I'm not mad at this guy. This is your job. This is the content you make. Just to hate stuff for no reason. Guess you trying to be the next Alex.
Hate stuff for no reason? Because the movie has no reason to be hated? And which Alex are you even referring to? Could you be bothered to at least throw in a last name? Maybe you can stop being an idiot and learn how to make a compelling argument in the future.
The film has been getting mixed, not terrible reviews, but of all the bad movies getting bad reviews out there, why do some people need this film to flop?
Because we're sick of these horrible remakes and want them to stop being made, you consumerist moron.
They're always about money. They're a company, not a religious or political organization. And not even all their remakes have gotten this much hate. Just say you're offended by people of color in your movies and be done with it.
How about you stop acting like The Little Mermaid 2023 is some sort of poor victim of abuse that needs to be protected and coddled? Disney was a company 30 years ago, and even then they still made good and original content. So they have no excuse for changing practices that act as a detriment to the quality of their films. This is not about skin color, and you know it. Quit being a bootlicking scumbag and get a life.
Wow, say how you really feel.
I feel like your comment is a miserable attempt to deflect criticism away from a corporate product.
I totally enjoyed the movie and wouldn't mind seeing it again. I actually got a little misty-eyed, so good.
Oh wow, The Little Mermaid 2023 actually made someone cry. Well, I guess I have to take back all my criticisms towards it now. But seriously, what kind of pushover are you that The Little Mermaid 2023 made you misty-eyed?
Now, I'm actually white in skin color. That's due to a trait in my blood. All my family are brown-skinned.
Okay, I don't remember asking for that information.
The real reason none of you people like this movie is because it's a person of color.
No, retard, I never even mentioned anyone's skin color throughout the entire video. If you actually watched the video instead of being a reactionary dunce, you would have known that.
Then you make up your excuses in your video. Oh, it wasn't as good as the original. This part was bad. You're all being very racist but hiding behind the lines like she's a bad actor but a good singer. And all the other stuff you piling into this movie with but never actually saying it right.
Newsflash, you pathetic loser. There's a lot of black people who don't like this movie either. Are you gonna say that they're being racist against their own race?
Yes, I believe you calling me retarded is just you proving my point about your bigotry. Today, we call it autism, Mr. 70s.
If you're gonna pull out the "you're just being racist" card in order to defend The Little Mermaid 2023 from criticism, then you are a retard. And you can cry all you want if it hurts your feelings to be told the truth.
Well, get over it, poor unfortunate soul. Needs to bad critics to get attention. Obviously, you loved the movie. Great stunning visuals.
Great stunning visuals? Are you blind or just a Titanic moron? Guardians of the Galaxy 3 came out during the exact same month with the exact same budget, yet while Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is visually appealing, The Little Mermaid looks like a PS3 cutscene. There is no excuse for this movie to look this bad when both these movies are owned by the same company. Care to explain that? I think you're the poor unfortunate soul around here. Defending a bad movie to feel more accomplished? How about you apologize to everyone here for being an idiot?
It's weird that you got grown men complain about a kid's movie.
You wanna know what's also weird? A grown man getting defensive over a kid's movie.
It's weird that you blaming Disney for all your problems. And furthermore, it's a bunch of kids of all races that like this movie. You too old to be cry over a damn little girl movie.
Hey, dipfuck. Kids also deserve good movies. You think that adults should just ignore the quality of the film and just shell out money to Disney for a ticket? Dick suckers like you who use the "it's for kids" argument are exactly why we have crap like Norm of the North. Because you undermine children's media that actually has effort put into it. Get lost and get stuffed with a swordfish.
Comparing a human to a cartoon character is ignorance on a level I've never seen before.
Does anyone know what that means? Do you even know what that means?
Seriously, what is this argument supposed to be? That a live-action actor can't be as expressive as a cartoon character? Are you familiar with Jim Carrey, good sir? Either way, you're the one who's being ignorant. Have fun living a life of stupidity.
Wrong, wrong, wrong. It's amazing.
No, 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 it's terrible.
Racist.
That's it? Just racist? There was really nothing else you could have said? That's the kind of comeback a 12-year-old comes up with when they have no argument to defend their stance. Your IQ has to be some sort of negative number if you thought this was clever.
The nature of most of the comments here just go to prove that criticism of Halle Bailey as the Little Mermaid is driven by deep-seated racism. Pure and simple. I think that what is happening is, in a way, good. It is fully exposing the racist hatred that is still a part of the cultural DNA amongst a percentage of the population in many Western countries, particularly the USA. And in a few decades, when the societies have progressed beyond the nasty, small-minded populist way of thinking that are currently in vogue, they will look back with embarrassment and shame on the events of the early 2020s, just as they now look back with embarrassment and shame on the apartheid in South Africa and segregation in the US South.
No, you stupid retard, the movie just sucks. Like, can you please point out any specific moment in the video that was driven by racism? What about the part where I talk about the changes they made to the lyrics of several songs? That part of the video had nothing to do with the ethnicity of the cast.
Well, I suppose that calling someone a disableist term like a retard is the best you can expect from a racist type with a low IQ.
It is not ableist to call someone a retard when they present a monumentally stupid opinion. That's just some stupid belief you idiots made up because you suddenly wanted it associated with neurodevelopment disorders when it previously had nothing to do with them. Whatever my IQ might be, I can say with full certainty that it's higher than yours if you're going to resort to this nonsense to defend a bad movie. Just accept the fact that it was a shitty movie that failed to represent the source material and that racism had nothing to do with it.
Did you even watch the movie? I'm tired of people hating on all the cast and crew's years of training and hard work they all put into the movie. All you do is sit back and watch them work and then complain.
Oh, boo-hoo! Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
Make your own movie then.
Hey idiot, let's see you do better is not the comeback you think it is. I don't need to make a film to explain how The Little Mermaid 2023 is bad. Do I need to develop a video game to explain how Gollum is bad? Do I need to write a book to explain how Twilight is bad? Do I need to make a cereal to explain how Sour Patch cereal is bad? This is honestly the fastest way to get people to not take you seriously because you know you have no leg to stand on and just want to try and humiliate the critic in question. Stay mad, you sausage wimp.
Y'all are haters. I love the movie.
Oh jeez, how many of these lazy hater comments are there?
Thanks, but they are mad cause she's black. My mom loves it, my sister loves it, I love it. They're racism.
Or maybe you're just fucking stupid to assume our reasons for not liking the movie is because we hate black people. Who would have thought that jumping to that conclusion would make you look like a jackass? Okay, now I think you guys are really gonna like this next one because it leads to some really lovely hijinks where they do more than just leave a dumb comment.
I actually like this movie. It's one of the best movies ever in Disney.
This is not in any way one of their best movies. Are you a moron? And for this they made a whole like 20-second video featuring Gotcha art trying to express how angry they were that I called them a moron. Like, is being called a moron worth this type of response? Like, there are far worse things I could have called this person. It's like a rated G insult compared to other stuff I've said. I'm not gonna bother showing the video here because trust me, it speaks for itself, but if you're curious, just note that the editing is about as high quality as you expect. So let's just move on.
Title: The Little Mermaid is trash. Me. Guess what? You're trash.
Hey lazy ass, I can do something like that too. Watch.
That's cringe.
You're cringe!
Alright, so this one is gonna get a little crazy because I made a couple of comments to him before he made a final horrible comment, and I just decided to select his stupid ass as a top contender for stupid people in this video. So let's go over the replies and then pick apart the last comment.
I found it impressive the amount of backlash that this movie is getting. I don't understand people who love it like is perfection or neither the one who hates it. I myself watch it and it wasn't that bad, okay? Some CGI sometimes was bugging me, but in average it was decent and I preferred it to the animated version. Used to make me fall asleep. Why Disney make this movie? Well guys, at T seems like we don't live in the same world. Everybody is Caucasian in the animated version. Come on guys, look around. It's 2023.
If you prefer this to the animated version, there is something wrong with you.
Did I state anywhere that I was a normal person? Did I tell you everything was right with me? And yes, I say it again, I love this version, whatever you are happy or not about it.
You just said you don't understand people who love it, and now you're saying you love the movie yourself? Are you a moron? Make up your mind.
Yes, because it sounds like most of the comment are biased. Talking about the woke agenda like seriously sound like half of the people doesn't know the definition of woke, which I found embarrassing. But thanks to call me a moron, that says a lot about you as a person.
You are a moron if you prefer this over the animated version. The reason people are saying that is because Disney race-swapped Ariel specifically to pander to people who think black people don't get enough special treatment in movies. Instead of worrying about inclusivity, they should be worrying about making good content.
I am not even gonna take it personally, cause I see clearly your perspective on it. You just have a problem with representation and inclusivity.
Yeah, I'm the racist one here, not the multi-billion-dollar company that exploits people of color and LGBT people for money.
If you love the original, well, stick to it. It's okay, there's nothing wrong with it. Are you one of this person who believes in the agenda and the big replacement?
I mean, arguably that's kind of what Disney is trying to do. They're trying to replace their legacy of animation with these lame live-action remakes just because that one fucking Alice in Wonderland movie was a surprise hit. They've arguably made more live-action remakes than original animated films in the last 10 years.
Listen, don't forget you guys. By the way you talk, I will assume you are Caucasian. But don't forget your family went to get people from Africa.
Oh, you're gonna pull that generational blame game now? That stuff happened like hundreds of years ago. Anyone who was directly affected by slavery during that time is long gone. Me and my family don't owe you jack shit. We should not have to pay for something we were never a part of just for your satisfaction. Everyone enslaved everyone during that time. Don't act like it was a white-on-black exclusive thing.
Well, now things are changing. They participate to the economy the same as the rest of the population. And if you didn't realize, you just sound like an angry and ugly person, I swear.
At what point did I express my dislike for people of color contributing to the economy? Did you seriously pick that up from me criticizing a movie with a black lead? If anyone is an ugly person, it's you for pulling this crap just to defend a bad movie. Your life must be so worthless if this is what you do in your spare time. Get off the internet and never come back, you waste of space.
My thing is, if you are gonna be upset at Disney for putting out trash, then fine. But getting mad because you see a black person playing a role, then yes, you are racist. This is a mermaid. In reality, her skin should be gray.
All the arguments I brought up in my review never addressed Halle Bailey's skin color. I only briefly mentioned at the end that I didn't like how Disney blackwashed Ariel for publicity. And that wasn't an argument against Halle Bailey as a black woman. It was an argument against Disney's scummy business practices. If you think it's racist to have a problem with Disney exploiting the African American community for profit and attention, you probably think it's okay for Disney to do a live-action remake that blackwashes Tarzan.
This movie is more beautiful. You go to hell, racist.
How about you go to hell, Disney cultist?
Bruh, probably 90% of the people that watched or commented on this video is racist. It's not that bad, it's literally the same as the original. And she's a mermaid, so what if they change her? She is a mermaid, sheesh. You people are so demanding. And in my opinion, the original is kinda trash.
Wow, you can get fucked, you mentally vacant skin tag. False accusations of racism, all caps, and claiming that the remake wasn't so bad while the original was trash just to make the remake look better, all rolled into one. How is the original trash but the remake isn't that bad when the remake is the same thing as the original? What makes the remake not trash? Care to explain that?
Just because I said the original was trash doesn't mean I hate the remake. We all have opinions, sheesh.
Hey, guess what? Fuck your opinion because you're making false accusations of racism. You don't deserve to be treated as if your opinion matters.
Listen, you idiot. The point of this movie was to not always have the same white movies we have been having for such a long time. The animated version was full of white people, but this one is diverse, which obviously you must be racist because you cannot accept going from an only white movie to a diverse movie that makes everyone feel special and not left out.
Honestly, this one is so obviously bad that I can't tell if they're being serious or if they're just trolling. Either way, this is just being racist against white people. Alright, I've been holding this back for a while now, but I'm about to reveal something that might blow your minds. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. This is Gabrielle. a character from the Little Mermaid TV series that ran on Toon Disney for several years. As you can see, Gabrielle is a black character in spite of being a mermaid like Ariel. She's meant to be interpreted as a person of color regardless if she's human or not. Now, imagine for a moment they make a sequel to this movie and decide to include Gabrielle as a character. What if they changed her ethnicity from black to Asian or Indian? Would you call that racist? I mean, what does it matter if they change a character's skin color? She's just a fictional character. She's not human, she's a fantasy creature. Who cares if Disney is willing to abruptly change a person's identity in order to appeal to a certain demographic? It can't be racist because it's not like the character is being race-washed to be white, right? You have to think about representation for Asians and Indians. If Ariel can be race-washed, we can do the same with Gabrielle. As long as she's not white, right? You know what? At this point, fuck the left and everything they stand for. The only thing that matters to them is what they personally consider to be politically correct, regardless if it makes logical sense or if it's actually offensive. And this guy is the prime example of that standard. This strawberry needs to be thrown into a pie and baked into it, because the sooner he can be eradicated from being anybody else's problem, the better.
Turning an imaginary mermaid into a black person is insulting. Not as insulting as Hollywood casting black actresses in non-white roles. Pick a consistent moral basis, clown emoji. Spreading hate will get you nowhere. Hashtag demonetize, hashtag stop hate.
Criticizing a bad movie is spreading hate for African Americans? Oh, and you gotta love how he tries topping it off with a clown emoji. Jackass, you're unironically defending Disney. If anyone is a clown here, it's you. See, even this guy agrees with me.
Nope, you hold the clown crown well. Work on being not racist and not a white supremacist. If you say so, defending a company that supports diversity and equality is the type of clownery I will gladly own.
Yeah, because Disney cares so much about helping black people and homosexuals feel better about themselves. Maybe you should be the president of their fan club or something. I'm sure you'll do a fantastic job making the world a better place for people of color by simping for Disney.
People like you who watch political commentary every day don't even let yourself enjoy a movie for the sake of enjoying a movie. Everything must be commented on and dissected. How is it woke? How is it right-wing, etc., etc.?
Oh, well, excuse me for bringing up valid criticisms towards a badly made corporate product, gumball.
The world is falling apart and people are worried about a fantasy movie? Man, get a life. There are bigger fish to fry. The little children I know enjoyed it. Complain about the inequities in the country versus a fantasy movie. Shake my head.
Oh, so you must be one of those idiots trying to go,
why are you getting worked up over a work of fiction when there's more important things going on in the world?
While you're literally doing the exact same thing by being defensive of a work of fiction. If you're really concerned about the real world over whatever nonsense is happening on the internet, then get off the internet, you numbskull.
Title is a lie.
How is it a lie?
It's not a trash.
Yes, it is. Not really much to say here, just a dumb back and forth between me and some guy who refuses to elaborate any further.
The movie is not trash, but some part of it is.
Okay, so what are those parts? Are you going to explain or just leave an effortless comment?
To be honest, I don't think The Little Mermaid was representation, just played by somebody who looks different. There is no racial woke ideology in the film, and it's funny because the word woke these days has been taken from its original meaning against black people playing roles. I definitely agree that we should have more original characters, and I understand that. But just because we see black people in a movie doesn't necessarily mean it's solely to push an agenda. And if you are complaining about it, then I think that's more of taking the woke bait than watching the movie because it gives them publicity.
People are complaining about it because Disney is using blackwashing as an exploitation tactic, deliberately changing a character's identity just to pander to African Americans. Woke is a term I try to avoid using as it's admittedly become really gimmicky and exploitive among right-wing people, but that doesn't mean there isn't an agenda being pushed here. The agenda that blackwashing is completely okay and that it's being done to end racism. This guy is either really good at taking things out of context or really bad at paying attention because man, what a stupid thing to say in response to my review.
Stop criticizing The Little Mermaid.
No, I will not stop criticizing this soulless garbage of a remake.
Why are you so racist?
Because you're a retard who thinks film criticism is racist.
It's a fairy tale, guys.
Asshole, the it's a fairy tale argument can be applied to a lot of fictional works. That doesn't absolve the movie from scrutiny.
It's just a black woman being fish girl.
That's like trying to defend Avatar by saying it's just white people pretending to be aliens.
You guys seriously need to do something and shut your mouths because it's not your call.
Who the fuck are you to determine whether or not a movie should receive criticism when it ends up being bad? It is our call when the movie has no cohesive storytelling and even more so when it's a soulless remake. What are you gonna do? Go to every single YouTube comment you see criticizing this particular movie and tell them to stop? Because you're just wasting your time.
You don't get to criticize and make fun of the movie. Seriously, why is this even a thing?
Hey moron, it's been a thing for decades. People ripping into terrible movies and providing entertainment for others in doing so has been a thing since Siskel and Ebert. Has this guy just never heard of film criticism before people started criticizing The Little Mermaid 2023? Do you know what platform you're using to leave this comment, you brain-dead lemon? Grow a spine and stop being a pushover when people criticize bad movies. And unfortunately, that's all the stupidity to be found in the comments. I apologize that there wasn't more, but I suppose that was enough to keep you guys occupied and entertained. Thanks for watching and be sure to stay tuned. I have some news regarding going forward with future videos and important updates on other matters. As always, thanks to my Patreon supporters and others who have given me support during this time. Until next time, stay cool.
Sure, when I was a child, I was in love with White Ariel. What I see now, Black Ariel, and my ruined dream. White Ariel was my love, that's true. I wanted to make children with her. What now? My... Oh, fuck.